Hello, and welcome to When Darkness Comes Creeping. I'm Gemma Mawdsley, a paranormal writer living in Ireland, where stories cling to the land like mist. Starting Friday, September the 5th, I'll be reading from my novels. Every Friday we'll journey together into tales shaped by myth, history, and the lingering presence of the dead. Living here, it's easy to believe in ghosts. In Ireland, we share our world with fairies, leprechauns, banshees, and wraiths. My stories live at the crossroad of ancient legend and present-day fear, but these aren't fairy tales for children. They carry the weight of cruelty, obsession, and sorrow. So if you love all things that go bump in the night, come with me. Let's walk together through famine-struck villages still echoing with hunger, into abandoned schools where shadows of children linger, and down frost-covered lanes where voices whisper from the hedgerows. We meet those who believe they can harm others and walk free, but there is no hiding from the dead. We'll even journey as far as Transylvania to uncover how a well-loved child became a killer whose name still chills the blood. And I'll leave you with this question. What if your only hope lay not with the living, but with the dead? Would you risk your soul to summon a restless spirit? That's where we begin, with my novel, The Wraith. If you enjoy haunting stories rooted in truth and legend, please share this podcast. September is coming, and so are the whispers. We begin in the past, with a taste of the darkness ahead. Rachel was 7 years old and about to die, but that was okay. She didn't want to live anymore. Not now, not after all the bad stuff. The bed stank of sweat, blood, and worse. Even when she buried her face in the sodden pillow, there was no escape from the stench. She lay on her side, eyes darting up at the shadows shifting between the uneven floorboards above. Footsteps creaked, dislodging dust from the wood. Particles drifted down, and she coughed as they landed on her face. They didn't care if she heard them. Her instinct told her she meant nothing to them, the bad men. One of them laughed, a sound so terrible it turned her stomach. She touched the wound on her arm. Her small fingers fit into the indents left by the teeth. Her body screamed with pain when she tried to move. She closed her eyes and wished it'd come and finish it. 3 nights had passed. She measured time by the light that came and faded through the cracks in the cellar walls. There was no point in wishing. Her mother wasn't coming. She bit down on dry, blood-encrusted lips. The trapdoor creaked open. Fear filled her eyes as one of the bad men climbed down the ladder. He didn't look at her. Instead, he placed a small plastic box on the bed and sat down beside it. Flipping the lid, he drew out a syringe and filled it from a vial. Rachel had always dreaded doctors' visits and the looming threat of vaccination, but the sight of the needle no longer frightened her. It's no use struggling, he looked down at her. I'm not going to struggle. Her voice chilled him. He brushed the feeling away with a sneer. That's just as well, he said, grabbing her arm. I don't want to have to hit you again. My mother is going to make you pay, she hissed, as the needle pierced her skin. You're such a silly little thing, he said, laughing as he pushed the plunger. He didn't know how, in those last few seconds before the drug took hold, Rachel's mind screamed for her mother. Not that it would have mattered. He felt nothing for the small, wasted form lying on the bed. He pulled the stinking pillow from under her head and pressed it over her face, just to be sure. Outside, the others worked in the garden. The crunch of shovels biting into the dry earth echoed faintly through the floor. Time to go, he muttered, lifting her small body and slinging it over his shoulder. Her weight barely registered as he climbed the ladder and carried her to the cabin and out into the backyard. Drop her in, said the man nearest the pit. He obeyed. Her body landed with a soft thud that seemed unnaturally loud in the stillness. He turned away. This part always disturbed him. The blood-sweet smell of the soil, the muffled sound of earth falling on flesh. Back in the cellar, he began to tidy up. There wasn't much time. The last few remaining scraps of clothing would need to be buried with the body. He laced his fingers through the straps of her sandals and looked down at the shiny leather. He smiled. Her mother was going to make them pay. He laughed, shaking his head. The idea was ridiculous. They were too clever, too organised. Everything followed a pattern. They never made mistakes. They'd done it before, and they'd do it again. The thought made him lick his lips. As I say, certainly not for the faint-hearted. It's a glimpse into the darkness and the terror that lurks within. Until we meet again, stay safe, my friends.